Hello, everyone. Great. Good to see you all here. And I can see more and more numbers are coming in. That's very good to see. All of you are welcome to watch and to type in your questions in the comments box. I obviously won't be able to get to all of them, but I will do a few. I just want to thank you all for joining this campaign by the Indian National Congress social media team, which is focused on the burning issues facing the country today, particularly asking for Speak Up India. That is, where people can raise their voice for the protection of the poor, the middle class, and the micro and small enterprises in our country at this particularly challenging time of the COVID pandemic, as well as, of course, the lockdown and the consequences thereof. This is sort of a virtual dharna. What we're trying to do is to actually get all of you involved in understanding what the key issues are and in coping with the challenges that are facing the nation. I want to tell you all that our message is very simple and very clear. Some of you have already seen this message in my Twitter and Facebook posting last night, where we have in fact made two very simple pairs of requests. The first is to transfer 10,000 rupees immediately to families below the poverty line. This is something which is indispensable because a number of people have found it impossible to make ends meet. We have found themselves, especially daily wage workers, do not have an opportunity, as you know, to earn a living during the lockdown. They have found themselves in a position where they cannot do a job, earn the money, and put the food on the table at the end of the day, which means that we are looking at people facing a little short of destitution. It is indispensable that they be given the immediate resources to be able to cope. And we have the Jan Dhan accounts. We have a number of other means of reaching money to the poor. Secondly, the migrant workers have stirred the conscience of the nation. We have seen how very moved most people are by the plight of these hard-working men and women reduced to trudging on the hot tarmac of the highways, heading out to their homes, back to their home villages. And I think one thing that most people I speak to would agree with is that transport should be made available for all migrant workers without charge so they can get back home safely. Employment opportunities must be provided to them once they get home. And this is why, linked to this request, is our request that the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme should not just be activated but should be doubled so that we actually have 200 days of paid employment given, and that can also be used to strengthen the infrastructure in our villages. Many of us remember President Abdul Kalam talking about what he dubbed Pura, providing urban facilities in rural areas. It is time for us to make his dream a reality by having the government contribute to actually strengthening what the rural areas can offer people, and maybe even moving some of our white-collar jobs to the rural areas. After all, if you're in a business processing office where all you're doing is sitting at a computer terminal or a telephone line dealing with consumers, customers, you don't have to be in a crowded, congested city. You could as easily be in a rural area, provided that rural area has guaranteed 24/7 electricity and decent broadband. And our big challenge, as we all know, has been that is not always available. I do want to say to all of you that when we talked about transferring money to poor families, we haven't forgotten the businesses. The businesses in our country are businesses that for the most part are small, micro or medium enterprises. A micro enterprise is just 2 to 7 employees. A small enterprise can have several dozen more, but not very much more than that. And a medium enterprise is still under 500 people. Think of those small enterprises running a little workshop, for example, or a lathe, and this enterprise gets its job order in the morning. It actually then proceeds to come back, execute the job, pay its workers. The workers go home and they're able to eat. The job is done and the business is able to continue. That kind of enterprise is in deep trouble. We already saw literally lakhs of such enterprises being forced to close because of the ill-considered demonetization. Right now, we are seeing the great risk that unfortunately this may happen once again when the lockdown prevents them from being able to work.